Hello and welcome to the FanDuel Punch Out. I'm Big and Lee 42 here, talking about Tuesday night's slate of action. And unlike last night, where there really were no good pitching options and really no one even panned out for the most part for what we really thought they would do, even the decent options up top. So we're looking tonight at some actual decent options. I mean, we've got some guys in play here that you actually feel good about playing. Starting at the top with Jacob deGrom, it's $11,100 tonight. And he's facing a Washington team that actually got to Matt Harvey last night, but maybe call me crazy, but Jacob deGrom has been more consistent, actually, than Matt Harvey this season. Last start before the break, 8 innings, 10 Ks, just 1 walk and 2 hits against San Francisco, 22 fantasy points on FanDuel. So he's got to be your top option. Really, the only bat you're worried about in that lineup still is Bryce Harper. So Jacob deGrom got to be your top option. Garrett Cole right below him at $10,600, but facing off against Kansas City, and I'm one of, I think, many that don't like targeting Kansas City with pitchers, especially guys like Garrett Cole, who typically don't pitch really deep into games. I mean, he's about 7 innings, 6 to 7 innings on average, and he's a good pitcher. Obviously not taking anything away from Garrett Cole this season. He's having a great season. He's got a 24.6% strikeout rate, ground ball rate of almost 53%. Home runs per 9 is just .54, but at the same time, this is a KC team that strikes out less than any other team. So I love Garrett Cole as a tournament option. I probably won't be playing him as a cash game option just because it's a tough matchup against these guys. So really just not a team I like to target. Danny Salazar, though, $8,800 is a really interesting target tonight. Facing off against the Brewers, $8,800 for him, like I said, and a significant discount from those top 2 guys. He's having a good season, but he has struggled with the long ball. 28.6% strikeout rate. He's got a 1.19 home runs per 9, which you don't like, but 2.93 xFIP. Definitely a good thing for him, and it's going to be interesting to see tonight how many people go after him in cash games. I don't think he's a bad target, facing off against a Brewers team that's right around league average, 16th in the league in Team WOBA, just 93 weighted runs created plus against right-handed pitching, 20.2% strikeout rate. Obviously, they're starting to get more healthy. They've got guys like Carlos Gomez finally back in the fold and producing. So, this is a guy that you really like to target in GPPs because he does have that blow-up potential. But I think at $8,800 tonight, I don't think he's a bad option for your cash games. And outside of him, there's one more guy I really like, Brett Anderson at $7,700, facing off against Atlanta in Atlanta. And we always talk about how bad the White Sox are against left-handed pitching. Directly above them are the Atlanta Braves this season, obviously missing their best hitter still, and Freddie Freeman, .094 ISO, 280 Team WOBA, 76 weighted runs created plus, 22.2% strikeout rate. This is a very, very bad team against left-handed pitching, and we've seen some big numbers from Brett Anderson at times this season. He's not a dominant pitcher. He's not a guy that strikes out a ton of guys, 17.5% strikeout rate, but a ground ball rate that leads the league of almost 67%. So this is a team that doesn't have much power. He doesn't allow a lot of hard contact. He doesn't allow a lot of balls in the air. So this is a guy, you're looking at his numbers here, 19.9% fly ball rate. Obviously very conducive to keeping the ball in the ballpark, .75 home runs per 9. Pitching in Atlanta, I mean, this is a guy who, when facing teams that are bad against left-handed pitching, like Miami, he went 7 innings, got 10 Ks. Arizona's a good team against left-handed pitching. He went 7 innings, 7 Ks. So 3 of his last 4 starts, he's gone 7 innings. Wasn't great in his last one, but this is a terrific matchup for Brett Anderson. I think he's a fine cash game or tournament option. Not a guy that typically pitches deep. 7 innings is about as good as it's going to get for him, but I don't mind targeting him tonight in any format. Nate Karns is another guy. This is really just because the Phillies are so bad, but prior to his last start against Kansas City, coincidentally, he had gone and gotten over 11 fantasy points on FanDuel in 5 consecutive starts. So $7,500, I don't think he's a bad option, really. Probably more of a GPP option because he doesn't have a whole lot of stability. He's a guy that is prone to blow up, and it's a Philly team that does have some guys who can hit despite being the worst offense in the league against righties. So I think he's an okay option. Chris Heston also, prefer him, obviously, to Nate Karns because he does have upside. We saw that complete game no-hitter he pitched against the Mets. Last start before the break, 6 2/3 with 7 Ks against Philly. Impressive start there. Faced these same Padres on June 25th, 7 innings, Gave up one walk, 5 hits, 6 Ks, got the win. So nice start there. I think he's a fine option as well. Really nobody below that I'm really trying to target. I think these guys are all fine options in their own right. And like I said, DeGrom's probably your safest option. I really like Brett Anderson, though. And one other guy who's really interesting, $4,600 for Aaron Nola. And they're talking about how he's been one of the most MLB-ready pitchers in all the minors. Had really good numbers at AA and AAA. 2.39 ERA, 1.052 WHIP. So he's a guy who is a good pitcher, and he's coming in facing a Tampa Bay team that is a slightly above average offense. So I think he's a fine tournament option as well. All right, moving on here to catcher. You got to like Victor Martinez. Once again, he's went down $100 from last night. He gets Taijuan Walker tonight, who went through that stretch where he was really good, kind of come back down to earth since then. Victor Martinez is the guy I feel comfortable playing against any pitcher, really. Once again, it comes down to, if you follow me on Twitter, you know how I feel about these Rockies against the lefty. Nick Hundley has not been good at all against lefties, and Michael McKinry has been good this season against lefties. McKinry does not get very many starts. If for some reason he's in the lineup, I love him tonight at $2,900. If not, Nick Hundley is a fine play because it is a Coors Field game, huge total, but $3,200, I don't love him. Once again, I'm going to go back to Kyle Schwarber. Had a fine game again last night. He's a guy who, he's just a good hitter, $2,500. They didn't call him up for his defense. He's a guy that's coming in to hit, and that's a guy I'm looking at. Tournament options tonight, though, Josh Vegley coming off one of the best games of his career. 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored, a double, and a home run in that beating of Minnesota the other day. And he gets a lefty in Mark Burley, who is a contact pitcher at this point in his career. And when Josh Vegley makes contact, especially against a lefty, it goes a long way. So I like him a great deal tonight. First base options, Paul Goldschmidt just kind of keeps creeping down there in price, down to $4,800. And he gets Matt Latos tonight, who isn't a guy that you're necessarily trying to pick on with everyone. But Matt Latos, despite this being a righty-righty matchup, Latos has actually been pretty good against right-handed batters this season. 296 WOBA allowed, but great tournament option, as he always is, Mr. Paul Goldschmidt there. Some other options for you, Prince Fielder, not in a lefty-lefty tonight. He gets Kyle Kendrick tonight, who, as we know, terrible against righties, not so great against lefties either. Definitely like him tonight. Anthony Rizzo is another guy that I'm looking at tonight, $3,800. It's kind of a disappointment last night, but Rafael Iglesias on the other side, guy who's very, very hittable. $3,800 is a great price for Anthony Rizzo in Great American Ballpark. Same goes for his counterpart, Joey Votto. Jason Hamill didn't look great in his last few starts. Struggling staying healthy right now. Definitely like him. Jose Abreu, $3,000. Cheapest we've seen him all season. He's going against Michael Wacha. I don't mind going that route either. And that's going to be about it at first base. You can look at Wilton Rosario because they are facing a lefty, and Matt Harrison. But $3,500, I'd prefer one of these other guys in my cash games. He's a GPP option for me. Second base, Rougned Odor gets a righty. And once again, that righty is Kyle Kendrick. Another guy you love to pick on, one of the worst pitchers in the major leagues. Gotta like him tonight. Other options, Brian Dozier. I always say he gets overlooked in righty-righty matchups, but he will not be overlooked tonight by me at $3,900 in this matchup with Matt Shoemaker, who's been really, really bad over his last few starts. Robinson Cano, another guy absolutely on fire right now. Homered again last night, coming off a nice series in New York. Actually, only one good game there, but had a double donk game. Finally showing the power he's been missing most of the season, so you got to like him as well. A couple other guys, DJ LeMahieu, $3,100, a fine cash game play. Coors Field bad against the lefty. Don't mind him. He doesn't have any power against lefties, so keep that in mind. But fine cash game play, like I said. Ben Zobrist also $2,900, a guy I really like. And then coming off a monster game last night, Cesar Hernandez. We always seem to talk about him, but $2,900, huge game last night. Probably going to be a pretty popular cash game option. Once again tonight. Third base, once again, Nolan Arenado. Started off last night with a bang, RBI, 2-run double in his first at-bat. Manny Machado, one of the best righty-righty hitters in the entire league. He's in play tonight against Nathan Eovaldi, who's an average pitcher at best. Todd Frazier, after homering in his first at-bat last night, he's cheap again, down to $3,400. They dropped his price even more. Take advantage of that discount there. Adrian Beltre at $3,900, same price as last night. But once again, the guy you can target, Kyle Kendrick with, so I'm on board with that. And the guy who's really starting to come around, if you need a cheap option, David Freese, 2,300. Homered last night, up to 10 on the season. He's had a couple nice games recently, and he's near min salary, facing off against Kyle Gibson, a contact pitcher. Not a bad pitcher by any means, but definitely a guy who gives up a lot of contact, so take advantage there. Shortstop, once again, Troy Tulowitzki, $4,400, $600 less than he was last night. And now he gets a lefty who's only made one start this season and did not fare well. So Troy Tulowitzki, I cannot imagine his ownership, but it's going to be very, very high. I will have a ton of him. He's going to be in my cash game lineup. Carlos Correa, $3,900, a great tournament option at $3,900. Facing off against a rookie making his first major league start, so you got to like that. If you're going off these two guys, Johnny Peralta against Carlos Rodon, $3,300 is a fine cash game play as well. Elvis Andrus, I don't like paying his price tag at $3,100 because he doesn't have much power, but he is in Coors Field, so you consider him there. Alcides Escobar, another guy, once again last night off A.J. Burnett, had himself a fine game and faced up against Garrett Cole, but I mean, this guy just gets it done night in and night out. $2,600, you got to like him. And Eugenio Suarez at $2,900, fine play as well. Outfield's going to be interesting. Colorado bats are facing off against the lefty. Carlos Gonzalez in particular has been awful against lefties this year. I'm not saying not to play him. I'm just saying I don't think he's a must in cash games. I prefer Blackman if I'm paying for one of the two, but I don't think either is a must in cash at $5,000 tonight. So other options I'm really looking at here, I like Michael Brantley at $3,600, really starting to get it going, and he's facing off against Mr. Matt Garza, who is not having a good season. I like him a great deal. Andrew McCutchen, if you're paying up, probably my favorite option there at $4,800 against the lefty of Jason Vargas. He's having himself a nice run right now as well. Mike Trout, of course, and then J.D. Martinez and Yoenis Cespedes. Prefer Martinez, but Cespedes a fine play as well for Detroit. He's significantly cheaper also. Mitch Moreland at $42, nice tournament option in Coors. Same with his teammate Delano DeShields Jr. at $4,100. Don't sleep on Brett Gardner and Jacoby Ellsbury, despite the lefty-lefty matchup. Like both in tournaments. Wei Yin Chen has been a fine pitcher this year, but he's definitely beatable. These guys can both hit lefties. And Cole Calhoun really, really heating up. $4,100. Hit a monster homer yesterday. 3 home runs in his last 2 games. Gotta really like Cole Calhoun once again. Christian Yelich, another guy I love in cash games as well. He's $3,000. Brandon Moss, nice tournament option at $2,900. And $2,900 actually is stacked right there. You got Chris Young against the lefty. He's great play against the lefty always. And then Josh Hamilton went down $100. He's $2,900 in Coors Field. You got to like that as well. And then Jock Peterson at $3,000, the other guy I've got listed here. Definitely can give him some consideration as well. And with that, that's going to wrap things up. Find us on Twitter at DF Cafe. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out all of our great content at dailyfantasycafe.com.